Hello, this is Regdrin again.
And this might be Stone of Triumph.
We are switching factions again. You're familiar with the Order, right?
Of course I am.
Can you describe them in a few words?
I can do it in one word.
Okay.
Exterminatus.
Indeed. In the beginning of the universe, the one true God created the planets as home for the Order, and plants as food for the Order. And he created rivers from which the Order would drink, and animals which the Order would use as trusty steeds and faithful pets, and probably sometimes food. Clearly, all of creation is God's bounty for the Order to make use of. As it happens, what the one true God had not written in the Holy Book why he had created species from other worlds. I beg your pardon for the talking this time. So the Order has assumed they were created for target practice. Any suggestion that they might have other uses is clearly heresy. So I guess if you combine the Empire and the Order, then you've got something else.
Yes.
Okay, and after that, we are going to show you some Order ship design because it is a little bit wacky.
Yes. Basically, the Order has a really big strength and big weaknesses.
Yes, they do. Let's take a look at some of the percentages involved. We've got an Acolyte fighter with speed boost plus 10% and hull integrity and armor minus 20%. Okay. Minuses like that are not things that we usually see. Like, even with the tribe, these things are at least consistent. But this fighter, for example, has minus 10% speed and 22% hull integrity boosts. We only use the plus 10 speed fighters, by the way.
See? Mm-hmm. Hey, there's a third kind of fighter here, too.
Yeah, but we don't care about that.
Oh, never mind.
It has 3 standard hardpoints and 2 weapon hardpoints, which are great for a fighter, except for that other stuff, so never mind.
Okay.
Same goes for frigates. We've got big pluses and minuses. Although, we do tend to see power output boosts a lot with the Order.
Yes.
Especially with the cruisers. They tend to like a speed penalty and a power output boost.
Yes.
Although that's not true 100% of the time. For example, this one has an armor penalty and a shield boost.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I like the aesthetic of them being lots of small ships kind of tethered together.
Yeah.
Aside from this, they have some unusual cruiser weapons.
They have nukes.
They have nukes.
They have the bomb.
Let's just open up that missile cruiser thing. And yes, they use nuclear missiles.
Don't let that damage fool you.
Yes. They also use radiation beams, and radiation from missiles and beams has a damage over time effect.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this effect is not displayed in battle, unfortunately, so it's tough for me to say how strong it is exactly.
Yes.
But we're gonna try it out in this battle.
Which, as far as you've told me, has an anomaly.
Oh yes, it has an anomaly, alright. We've seen it before, but it has special meaning for this one. It has no shields available. This is less of a problem for the tribe that we're fighting.
Yes, they don't really have shields to begin with.
Probably not a great idea to bring the Empire for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how exactly the rules work for radiation in this game. For example, if we hit only the shields and do not go to the hull, does radiation work? Not that it matters for this battle, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this fight does not have fighters, so we'll get rid of all of the anti-fighter gear. So, let's use the nuclear beam cruisers and a nuclear missile cruiser. As you may have noticed,
this is a small battle.
This is a very small battle, which is an interesting switch-up after all the big battles. But that's, I have no particular problem with this.
Mm-hmm.
We are modestly outnumbered. I don't know what the cost of their stuff is compared to mine, but let's not worry about that right now and just...
They have more things. Go get them.
Let's fight. We also have a couple of standard, which is non-nuclear beam frigates in the back.
Yeah, their frigates don't get the benefit of being a nuclear power.
Yeah, they don't really have anything special to them at all, unlike, for example, the Swarm and their special crew compartments. Also, I may have neglected to put guidance scramblers on these beam cruisers.
Oops.
Well, by the way, those radiation beams are sort of a weird hybrid between mid-range and long-range. They have a range of 600, and compared to, say, pulse, or whatever, the weapons that I call pulse lasers, which have a range of 300, which is a knife fight for sure, these are just short of things like rockets and fast missiles, so it's odd. Also, despite calling them beams, these are not actually beams visually. They fire...
Yeah, they look more like the cruiser lasers.
Yeah, they are energy bolts. Now, the fact that the frigates are dying pretty fast does not, on its own, really say anything, because that's kind of how things go. But we know how well tribe ships are known for their resilience, especially when we can't really concentrate fire on them like we usually do. Also, we seem to have lost our beam frigates. They have wandered a bit too far forward.
Well, you seem to be doing all right anyway.
Yeah. That's one of the drawbacks of not really having a truly dedicated frontliner ship like I usually do, because those usually provide very good cover. But the radiation beams have just about the same range as our beam frigates, so, well, yeah, you saw.
Yes.
And yeah, the enemy seems to be falling apart pretty darn fast, especially considering the start of the battle, where I wouldn't want to one-on-one a tribe ship in most circumstances. They tend to have a whole bunch of repair systems and just don't die.
Well, the thing about the radiation guns is that they're kind of a counter to that.
Yes. I don't know exactly how the radiation works because, as I said, it's not displayed, but the damage over time does seem to stack on itself, and thus we get ships that just kind of fall apart after a while. Yeah, unfortunately, the beam frigates just don't last long enough. So if I was going to do this again, I'd maybe just take them out. Or at least change their orders so they attack from further away. Let's save those orders, so that maybe they won't die as fast next time.
Okay, gonna change difficulty?
Yes, I am.
Well, who knows what's gonna show up here, so...
Yeah, that's a fair question. Let's put in some anti-fighter stuff. Now, one thing about the quirks with order frigates is, you know how I create frigates with some anti-fighter missiles?
Yes.
Well, this particular kind of frigate hulls actually has a lot of built-in power production, so I didn't even need to put one in for these.
Oh?
As a result, these are extremely cheap frigates.
They don't have any armor.
They don't have any armor, but they cost 385, so I'm not sure they need it. Well, it depends sometimes on the orders of the fighter. So I guess my plan is to put on some target painter fighters as soon as I find them. Yeah, these are those. And I don't think I need 16 of them. But that's okay, because I can just adjust how many of them there are.
Oh. Oh, you can do that.
Yes, I can. So if the enemies are targeting my fighters, I should wipe them out pretty easily. If they're targeting my frigates, then there might be some more problems.
Okay, so you're gonna give it a shot?
Let me just make sure I got the orders right. Yeah, looks like I do. Yes, we will give this a shot. Probably more than one shot.
Yeah,
As in...
depending on what's actually there.
Yes. So let's take a look at their formation.
Oh, they brought fighters.
Yeah, and they're sending them in right away, so...
Actually, they brought 3 squadrons this time instead of none.
Well, that looks like just one Well, either one of the squads is extremely small, or they're just spaced out a little bit through flight.
Oh, so yeah, that's anti-fighter missiles for you.
Yes, tribe fighters are tough, but they're not that tough. It looks like these are, in fact, given orders to attack frigates, but I'm not sure how much that matters.
Here comes the plasma.
Here comes the plasma. So it looks like we'll be able to get rid of their fighters fast enough. That's good news for us. We didn't, despite how it looked, we didn't actually lose any frigates immediately either, although they are a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we didn't really expect anything special from those frigates that charge ahead.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's 2 of those.
And, let's see, I think those are frigates that are escorting the cruisers, maybe?
Yep.
They're moving at the same speed, anyway. Alright, and now they've got quite a few EMP guns, actually. I saw 2 firing from the top one. But, fortunately, although I didn't have anti-missile measures, I did have anti-EMP measures.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh-oh, we got some frigates moving forward a little bit. Gotta be careful about that.
Well, I think, they may not be fine, but...
Yeah, they're starting to fire guns at them.
Guns.
Guns. Well, it looks like we have 1 beam frigate that's staying back, so the orders worked out for that, at least.
Yes, your anti-fighter frigates that are moving forward.
Yeah, that could be a problem, but there's 1 that's staying back, at least. Without the, oh, never mind. I was about to say without the missile cruiser backup, they might take a while to go down, but apparently the radiation guns are good enough.
Mm-hmm.
This would probably be a lot messier if I was playing another faction, though.
Oh, it could be.
We'll see.
But if you're playing, like, Alliance, you could probably do something here.
Yeah, that's true. Having good armor would be nice on this map. And, well, we'll see how much of a fight this last cruiser puts up, but now that it's a 2v1 situation... Oh yeah, I should probably speed things up just a little bit now. I mean, I don't feel too bad about having this fight be at 1 time speed for a while, just because the fights are so small this time.
Right.
But it looks like this cruiser does not really put down the hurt a whole lot. I suspect that the enemy cruisers are kind of built with some anti-fighter stuff built in.
Mm-hmm.
I like to specialize a little bit more.
Yep.
Well, I've already bought everything in the Fleet HQ. That happened a while ago, as you can see from my available honor.
Yep.
Speaking of which, seeing as those fights are so small, you can't earn a huge amount of honor, so I'm glad that all that stuff is taken care of. Now
with honor.
No, we're fighting for honor, not with honor.
Okay.
Well, let's have a word from our sponsors. This time, we are talking about crew pods. And let's bring up a cruiser, because they have some really fun stuff to talk about. First of all, let's talk about droid bays.
Crew are great, and we love having them around. But those crew quarters weigh a ton. Imagine how much lighter the ship could be with robot crew. Droids. Because you don't need to feed them.
Also, the reinforced crew bay. Your crew are your most valuable resource, or so you keep telling them. Actually stick to your word with this reinforced module that will keep them alive whole minutes longer.
Because that can make the whole difference.
Also, minutes is a rather optimistic time frame considering how things go with gratuitous space battles.
Mm-hmm.
They also, I have to admit, they have a pretty good idea of scale. And they mentioned sports a few times with crew modules. Here's an example. Bigger ships mean even more crew, and this larger crew module supports enough of them to make up an entire zero-G football league. Old-style rules. This is a crew module that provides 268 crew, just to give an idea.
Yeah. So it'd be a small league.
Okay, I think that is just about it for today. I know this was a small one, but the next one will be larger, and we'll still be using an order. The order. Okay, not just one order. This time the enemy is, yes, going to have shields.
And we are fighting the Order.
Yes, so we got an order versus order battle here. We're going to learn some stuff, probably.
Yep.
Oh boy, it is so unrealistic to have a religious civil war. We also have supply limits. Fortunately, it doesn't really limit anything that we're going to use.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is that. See you later, everyone.
See ya.